This is my
Whatever.
serious face. All right, let me try again. You ready? All right, here we go. All right, for real this time. All right. Hello, and welcome to Sprangboro Sessions. This is episode number 71. Today is 12/12/21, and welcome to the show.
What up,
That
folks?
that is the end of the show. Thanks for hanging out. We appreciate all of you guys. We'll catch you next time.
I think that'll be the best episode yet.
Yeah, nailed it. Hey, TJ, it's been a few weeks here. Last weekend, uh, I remember texting you guys a little earlier. I felt bad, obviously. We always do. But last week we were getting the holiday preparations down at their ranch here set up.
Oh yeah, it's that time of
And
year.
yes, it definitely is. Yeah, so last weekend, also, I guess I should recap last weekend and tell you where my mindset was. So, work has been, work, and work is work, so I'll leave that at work. And then we played a show Saturday at Mound Grove Golf Course. Real beautiful place. I always like playing there. Real laid back, pretty stripped down. Pretty much acoustic stuff. Guess I have the ringer on. My main piece. What she want? Oh, to send me a TikTok. Perfect. Anyways, um, yeah. So we were playing. It was like a 3 hour night, and we got about an hour and 45 minutes into the night, and I'm singing a song, and I look down at my tablet, and because it was like it made some weird like I saw like the coloring change or something. I looked down and it said that it disconnected, and I'm like, okay, well that does happen from time to time to me during the shows. A lot of people enjoying the show experience don't really notice it because my X Air Behringer X Air 18, they're known that if you have a small group of people together, like a band, um, and you connect everything up because it has a built-in Wi-Fi feature, so you can connect multiple devices and things like that to it. But the problem with them is when you're around a bunch of people and everybody has a cell phone or a tablet or something, it's like viewing the Wi-Fi
It's
of
searching
the
all the
thing.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it's not. They can't connect to it unless they know the password, but it's like constantly, confusing it and pulling the
Yeah.
Wi-Fi in many directions. So it overloads the signal, and then it drops the signal completely to where nothing can connect to it, and you can't. When it loses connection, then you can't adjust anything. So it'll stay where you have it. So if you have everything, you're going and you got a guitar going, the vocals going, all that crap going. Um, if you set it, you can, in theory, turn the tablet off and just enjoy the rest of the night. But as you know, with every show, in between sets, you're muting everything and you're unmuting things and adjusting volumes and stuff. So, long story short, I have a router that I have secondary that I'm going to have to utilize for my system so that way when people are in a room with it, it's not overloading it. But back to the story at hand, we're at Mount Grove and we're playing and everything's going pretty good. And I look down, my tablet disconnected. And okay, whatever. Next thing I know, I'm going to sing and I have absolutely no vocal. My bass amp and everything to the right side of me, my amp and my my PA system, everything's all shut off. I'm like, okay, well, it looks like we blew a circuit, which happens. Not often, but it has happened, when you play a place that sometimes a circuit breaker will go. And I wasn't running stage lights at all. Usually I run stage lights and four more lights and a bunch of other things. Yeah, nothing. Next thing I know, the power, everything turns back on. By then, I had already started turning everything off, so that way, if it turned back on, it wouldn't
Gotcha.
overload the circuit. And as soon as I turn in everything on, I go through the motions and I turn my amp on. My amp's okay. I turn on the power, like the main power distributions rack thing, and that all turns on. As soon as I hit the power button on my amp, my main PA, which is the power amp, in case anyone doesn't know, it sparked and it started to, like, it. All the lights went dim, like for a split second. I hurry up and shut it off. I'm like, oh shit. They had
Oh
like
wow.
they had like a Christmas tree in the background, and you think of all the lights and just everything running, and I'm like, oh shit, whoa. So like wiggling all the wires to make sure the power was plugged all the way in and stuff, and I gotta try it again. I hit the button and everything dims again. I hurry up, turn it off, and everything is sparked again, and everything's smelling like burnt electrical components, and
Oh no.
I'm like, oh god. I'm like, I think my power amp is done. So I look at the guys and they're like, well, what are we going to do? I'm like, well, we're playing acoustic. You got an acoustic. Why don't you just go ahead and just play? So Jerry's amp's pretty cool. It's got a input for microphone. So we ran his microphone line into his amp. And obviously, it's not going to sound good. It's going to sound very muddy and distorted and everything. They're not made to be clear and be loud. They're made for little tiny setups. And I just looking at those guys. I'm looking at the amp and I'm looking at everything because I how much I get into it all and I take it all serious. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go sit outside for a minute and get away from everything and everyone and just try and gather myself because I'm about to be pretty irritated for no reason. I mean, things happen. So I go outside and I text my buddy, who the wolf. Um, he, he's been, probably my biggest supporter through the music, for a long time. He's the reason why I bought the Air because he told me to buy one many years ago, and he's taught me a lot about um, all that stuff. Well, I text him and I'm just like, well, my PA's toast. And he texts me back and he's like, well, give me a jingle when you guys are done. I said, all right. And I go back in and they played a couple songs. And then Jerry's like, well, I think I'm going to take a break. Let's take a break. I'm like, well, why don't you guys go take a break? Let me see that acoustic. I'll play a couple songs. What the hell? So I'm like, what's up, y'all? I want to play one of my own songs, we don't normally get to do this. So I says, I looked over at Rick and I'm like, all right, it's key of G. I looked at Jimmy and I'm like, all right, bro. I says, you do your thing. And we start playing my song Crave. And next thing I know, it was sounding pretty good, but next thing I know, it was just like so glorious and full. And it was kind of sporting wood, if you will. And I turn around and I look and there's Jerry playing the bass. And I'm like, perfect. That's the bass guitar difference. It adds the full everything. And we've jammed it out, and then we jammed another song, and so here I am. I'm supposed to be irritated and upset because my power amp has blown up, and here I am smiling, laughing, singing songs, playing guitar with my homeboys. And we go take a break, and they come up to us and they're like, "Hey, you guys, we appreciate you guys coming out tonight, and we know you guys having problems. Everybody's getting winding down anyways. Why don't we just call it now?" We're like, "All right, that's cool." We pack everything up, we throw it in the car. I'm like, "All right, it's time for me." My plan is to go home and then go get a hold of my buddy and go talk to him about the amp and stuff. Well, one of my best friends, the one that lives out in Chicago, him and his wife are in town, and so they end up showing up, and another one of my buddies and his friend show up, and they're walking in the doors. We just turn in everything off. I'm like, ugh. All right. Well, sorry guys, they pulled the plug on us. My amp's blowing
Oh,
up. I said, appreciate you guys coming out here, and so I was like, as soon as I'm done packed up, I said I'll come over, and so we packed everything up, and then I sat down and drank a beer or two, and then we headed back to Albion, and went to a bar in town, and I saw my old guitar player from Just Circle Yes, and we were talking. We ain't hung out or seen each other in quite a while, and we were just talking, shooting the crap about everything. And so, looking like sometime after Christmas, me and him and the bass player are gonna probably start getting together and trying to rehash out some of these old, rock songs and record them. Because I have the studio now. That's why I'm like, come on, man, we just gotta do it. Let's just record some of these songs. They're our songs. We worked hard, and they're like, oh, Jamie, you wrote the lyrics, blah blah blah. I'm like, dude, I can record all this shit all by myself all day, any day. That's not a problem. That's not an issue. It's just not what I want to do. Like this was our band. This were our songs. Like if we're gonna record them, I'd rather record them with the band. So that was really cool. So again, this is a night that I'm supposed to be super irritated because I blew up my amp, and had a great time. Had a great time. We held down the fort all night, and I come home. Next morning, my buddy texts me, and the wolf texts me. He says, he's like, "Yep, yet." I'm like, "Oh yeah." He says, "All right, I'm on my way over." He comes over. He walks in, to walking in with stuff in his hands. So he brought me a power amp to use until I get mine replaced or fixed. And then he brought me another little cool toy. So you remember that Behringer XR 18 I got, and I told you and I showed you about it. Well, he brought me an XR 12. So it's 12 channels instead of 18. It doesn't have the full functionality of the 18. Like there's things that does that this little guy does not. But it's really awesome because now I can use a smaller one for smaller acoustic shows and things like that. And it's just pretty awesome. He said that his amp, because his is the same type of mine, only mine has 4 channels and his has 2. And he said that he went through the same thing at a show, and he ended up sending it to this guy that one of our mutual friends knew, and the guy fixed it for him. Said it was a power supply. Um, so he suggested that I try and get a hold of that guy and see about getting it fixed. So I actually talked to Ricky last night because it's Ricky's buddy, and I'm like, "Hey man, is your buddy still around or still fixing amps?" He's like, "Oh, he's in Tennessee now." I'm like, "Damn." He's like, "You might have to ship it." I'm like, "Well, this thing weighs like a pound and a half, so weight isn't a problem." So I'm gonna look into that. But that's like I told everybody right after it happened. And again, there was a time in my life that stuff would have irritated the hell out of me, and it would have pissed me off for days. But I looked at the guys and I smiled, just like when the people that run the entertainment portion of that for that establishment. They're like, "We feel so bad." I'm like, honestly, I don't. I'm like, we've played like 100 shows with this thing. I've used it at every practice and every show and every little everything. I got my money out of it a long, long time ago. It doesn't owe me a penny. And I actually have another power amp or two laying around. I loaned them out, to a couple of friends. One guy has one, another guy has another. So if I needed it, I could make a phone call and have them bring it to me. But when you got good friends that share similar interests, he just shows up. He's like, "I got you an amp, and look, here's an XR 12 for you." I'm like, "Well, what do I owe you?" Which we're not going
Oh,
to discuss. But he made a good argument and a good fair price on the XR 12. So after Christmas, I'm gonna purchase that. But yeah, so that's what led to Saturday night. So Sunday morning, he come over and we did all that, and then uh, we hooked it all up and we're working on everything, and then we had to set up the tree, and we went and got a tree that day, and just you know all that living.
yeah,
And
that's awesome.
yeah,
It's not,
as you know, those bad moments can turn into something pretty awesome, and it did. And
mm,
so last night when we played at this place up called French Quarters, and as soon as we get everything set up, I'm just looking down at my amp and or looking at the amp and looking at everybody. I'm like, well, here's a moment of truth. you know, I turned on the amp and it all lit up, and I'm like, this is nice.
yay!
This is good. We're in. So yeah, we played last night, man, and we threw down. It's probably one of my favorite shows we played all year, if not, period. Everything went well, honestly. Music sounded great. Scott, has been running the board for us, and he did a great job. And he got up and sang some songs with us, and one of them's Tennessee Whiskey. So there's me on the fly trying to sing those super high ass harmonies, and I'm just like, ooh, Tennessee whiskey. I'm like, that's sweet. I'm like, God, I'm so terrible. But, nonetheless, they went pretty well, and just had a good time, man. That's pretty much all I've been up to. We're honing down, ready for Christmas.
Yeah.
Next year, I'm planning on trying to write at least one song a week. That's my goal, is to write 52 songs next year, at least full songs. Even whether they're good, bad, doesn't matter. Whether they jive or not, it's not the point. It's the principle of practicing. And I probably pissed out 10 songs this year, but I didn't really focus on it. So gonna really try and look into that coming up this year. And yeah, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Just trying to look forward to just some stuff. What
Mm-hmm.
about yourself? You've been. I gave you time. Did I give you enough time to eat your dinner?
No, no, no. I just was listening. I wasn't. How are you, sir? Yeah, it's not a big deal. Yeah, we're getting in there.
He's like, it's all. I
I've
do.
had my,
I do that.
I've had
I do that all the time. In fact, that's why I don't stream video games very much. I had somebody at work the other day ask me, like, Jamie, I never see you streaming. I'm like, because every time I'm streaming, I'm always munching on chips and hot pockets and stuff, and ain't nobody wanting to sit there watching me just eat the whole time, because that's what I be doing. Once in a while, I might pull the hot pocket away, all the shit falls down. I'm like, oh, this idiot, why didn't you hit the damn thing, And
That's a whole avenue, man. There's some streamers that just watch other streamers stream and eat food.
see, that's
They just eat food while they're watching other streamers. And like Tim the Tatman, he does it all the time. Like he'll stream and he'll watch like people play solo Warzone and eat. That's what he does for like an hour.
and people love it.
Yeah,
That's
he has a
funny.
huge audience, but you know, it's just funny as hell. Like people just want to get on and interact with somebody else. You know what I mean? Like, and they feel like when they watch a streamer, they get a little bit of that. You know?
Mm-hmm. Hmm. That's funny. That's funny, man. So what you been up to? I know we ain't gamed in a while or nothing.
I turned on my PC in a week, and I've just been working a lot and just been trying to hang with more and stuff. It's getting to do that time now. It's just and it was tough because she kind of the orals. She was when I get up, when I get downstairs.
You're a little muffled right now.
It might have been because I was by my leg. Can you hear me better now? You good? You good?
Yes,
All
you
right.
good.
All right. Yeah. No, I haven't turned on the PC in like a week because I've been trying to spend more time with Graham, trying to get the right light here too. Sorry. For everybody that knows, I'm in my car right now. I just was at the hospital seeing some family and stuff. So, but
You mean in the limo? You're a
yeah,
baller. Yeah, he's in the
the
back seat of
driver,
the limo right now.
my driver. Hey, buddy, I'll get to you afterwards. You'll get your check. Um, but I fucking wish. No, I've just been trying to spend more time with her because it's starting to get to that point where I think I'm thinking my goal is by uh, the end of next year is to be moved to Pennsylvania. That's the goal. Um, I got a feeling Graham's got about a year, and just the cost of living in Massachusetts is so fucking high. It's ridiculous. Like, um, it's just I got to make a move. I got to make a change, and Graham's probably not going to need me in like a year. I think probably another year at home, and then she'll have to go to a home home health to a healthcare facility. Um, just because she fell twice in the past couple of weeks. You know what I mean? Like
Oh man.
so. Yeah, she just can't walk for long periods. I got to get a wheelchair for her actually. I might have to go to Boston tomorrow or sometime this week and get a wheelchair because my boss, his mother has one that she's not using. So he said, if she still has it, I can have it. You know, he'll ask her if I can have it. So that'll be cool. That'll be good. So I'll go get that. But yeah, she's getting up there. She's almost 84. You know, so but yeah, so it's like the winter thing coming up. She's every morning I come downstairs and she thinks we ran out of oil. And I gotta go downstairs, take a picture of the oil tank, show her that we're not out, that we haven't hit below half a tank. And then every night when I come home, it's the same thing. Have you gone to bed yet? We're out of oil. No, we're not, Graham. We just talked about this morning. So yeah, it's just getting to be that time where she's starts forgetting stuff. You know, she'll never forget about oil.
Well, my grandpa, when he was around that age and stuff, I remember he would constantly, like we were teenagers and stuff, and he would constantly be going outside every couple, every hour, every other hour, and he would always walk to the front door, make sure it's locked, and walk back to his chair. And we're always like, damn, he's just really so concerned about keeping everybody in the house safe and the door locked. And after I got my house, I realized that you do want to keep the things safe and people safe, but I think it was more just giving them something to do and focus
Yeah,
on.
well,
So,
I think it is. Gets hyper focused on something, and that's since you don't have like a job to go to, or a lot at her age, most of her friends have passed away, and most of her people her age that she used to know are gone. So it's kind of why I've just been trying to spend more time with her, keep her occupied, and maybe keep her mind a little sharper. She's still smart. She still knows, she still has all her facilities. She's not really going Alzheimer's. There's just some things that don't quite stay. So
dang, man. Well, we're all thinking of you guys. You guys are in our
yeah,
prayers.
appreciate it. Thank you, man.
I know
Yeah.
it can't be
Yeah.
easy. It's never easy for anyone.
No, it is what it is. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Well, that's like you said. We say that all the time. You gotta live the best you can, and that's what we're doing here. And
Yep.
I
Oh
know
yeah.
you think of all you've seen those tornadoes in Kentucky and
Yeah, there was like six
Illinois.
in day or something, wasn't there?
Yeah. Ty texted me yesterday, and he said that night before last or whatever, they lost power, and then so they had no heat, no nothing. So they all, him and the wife and the three kids were all in the bed trying to stay warm together. And you think that's just one family out of all of them at this time of the year. And granted, Friday night, I know here it was probably like 40, 50 degrees. It was 60 degrees, Friday, and the weather's been pretty nice actually, which is why we have crappy weather because it always comes at a price, especially at this time of the year.
Yep.
But it all changes so fast, man. It just changes fast. We had the wind was whipping yesterday. We had like 70-mile-per-hour winds most of the day. So,
You did too?
not constant, yeah, but everywhere. So
Last
there he
night.
is. There he
Last
is.
night my whole house felt like it was gonna shake off the shake right off the foundation. It was so bad.
Jesus. Hello.
Hello. The storms hit you pretty hard last night, TJ?
Yeah, yeah, we had like extremely high winds, a lot of some rain, not a whole lot, but it was yeah, it was pretty gnarly, man. It felt like my house was gonna topple over. I'm on the second floor and like waking up, like fucking thought I thought the roof was gonna come in, all cave in on me. I'm like, please don't fall on my head. Please don't fall on my head.
Oh, damn.
I don't I don't want to be found with my dick in my hand.
Well, I
Make your
do,
make your hand off.
but just not right now.
Just not right now.
That's
Would be a bad way to go.
Yeah.
Oh,
I guess I'm gonna go out. I might as well go out with that smile on my face, right?
even if it's a real little smile.
Hey, now.
Nailed it,
Those are just rumors.
man.
I do apologize for the delay of me joining. I was planning on joining at 4:00, and got a little bit sidetracked. Didn't think that the tournament was going on quite that long. But Taylor and I just did a platinum hoops doubles tournament, where it's the basketball version,
Nice.
and just got second place and lost in overtime.
Oh man,
Damn.
that's awesome.
It was a close one. It was a close one.
Putting in work.
I don't like that game mode unless it's in tournament form, because in tournament form it actually makes it,
Yeah.
a reason to want to win. That's it. We're having some fun with it. But yeah, and then I was like, "Yeah, tournament's over. Holy crap! It's 4:30. I need to run." I was like, "Bye."
Oh no, man, you good? We've been sitting here, talking about, life and all that amazing stuff. And
Oh yeah.
I was actually just telling them about how you guys lost power and you guys all had to sleep in bed together to stay warm and.
Yeah, that was yesterday.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, it was yesterday morning. Yesterday morning,
Okay.
woke up and I started downloading a really cool game that I'll tell you about here in just a second, TJ. And woke up the next morning, none of the heaters were running. The house was just dead silent. And I was like, and it was cold. And I was like, not good. The wind was blowing really hard outside. We just lost power the day before for like 5-6 hours as well. Yeah, there's some nasty winds this year, I'm guessing. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
that storm that you guys got, I got last night. That all those winds must have came over from where you guys are.
Yeah, Lake Erie had like 15 foot waves. Everybody was posting online.
Wow. Yeah, if it wasn't so fucking cold out, I would have gotten up at 2 o'clock in the morning and gone down to the canal to look at the waves because it must have been friggin' huge.
Heck yeah! Oh, I can imagine. I know what I saw here off of Lake Erie. It was like, holy crap, man!
yeah, no thanks for any of them waves. I like dry land a
Yep.
lot.
I'm not a water.
Nice thing about being in the
Not a
Midwest.
water guy. I didn't. You know what? When I was looking to buy a house, I'm like, all right, is there a creek around? No. All right,
Nope.
I'll look at it.
We're good. Around here, that's a flooding. The creeks flooding is a pretty big thing. Happens quite a bit.
Yeah.
There's a couple
Yeah.
creeks
Well,
that used to
I
have
was
houses.
telling Jamie earlier that probably in about a year I'll be out in Pennsylvania by then. So
Well, that's funny because me and Ty were talking the other day that we're probably going to have you fly to Pennsylvania or fly to Chicago. Maybe sometime next year when the wife and I would come up that way to go see my buddy. Then we'll just meet you there at the airport. We'll go hang out with Ty, chill for a couple of days, send your ass back home, and then I'll come back home myself.
I like the sound of it, and if I need to book a flight out to Pennsylvania, I mean, I'm willing to do that as well.
Just saying. Well, if you were to fly to Pennsylvania, dude, we got an airport like 30 minutes from my house.
That's even better.
Yeah, and they even got
Yeah,
a
'cause
restaurant right there, and we could smash some wieners.
I can just drive,
yeah.
man. It's 10. I can just drive there. It's 10 hours. It's not that far. I've done it enough times where it's fucking cake. So
He does it. He does it in my sleep or in his sleep. He's like, I'm leaving. All right, sweet. I'm taking a nap. Later, bro. Let me know when you get there.
leave early in the morning. I'm there by 5.
That's not bad.
5 a.m. from here. Miss all that
Not a
traffic.
huge fan of driving. Went down to Florida one time, took 19 hours. Went to Canada, 4 or 5 times. Those were 22 to 27-hour drives because I was with my grandpa and his brother and a bunch of older guys. And so there's pee breaks like, every 45 minutes. But other than that, good time.
I only
It's just
stopped. I stopped once. I stopped once for lunch. That's it.
nice.
See, now if you were going baller status, you would have got one of them catheter leg bag things and brought your packed lunch. Then you wouldn't even have to stop.
Yeah,
But the problem is I'd be smiling down the road, pissing the whole time.
drinking piss. I don't have to leave the seat of my car. No, it's great. But I play a game to see how high I can get. The last time I went there, the mileage, I got 34 miles to the gallon. So I got to beat
Nice.
that.
That's pretty impressive. See, everything sounds good in theory, but when you put it into practice, and a prime example of that is a hydration pack. You guys are familiar with a hydration pack, I'm sure, Well, let me tell you,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just finding the right ratio or the right ratio of ice to, the other contents of but Captain and Cokes and them, after a while, they're just, not very good. I mean, it was 90 degrees out that day, and it was during a music festival. So after a while, Captain and Coke, when it's piss warm, ain't that good. All the ice I put in that pack and shit, and all melted real fast and watered it down. But for the experience and the practicality of it, I suggest trying it. But in theory, it's great. But in practice, meh, not so great.
Watered down warm hit Captains and Coke does not sound all that pleasant.
No, but it was funny walking around all day with a hydration pack on my back with a Captain and Coke.
Getting hydrated.
Staying hydrated, boys.
You
right.
changed the hydration pack to a dehydrated pack.
Like I said, man, you got to keep them hydrated.
Hell yeah. Hydrated. Love it.
Yeah, you see this guy, he says, we're playing a platinum tournament. That's because we've been playing with mostly plats.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's I happened to weasel my way into the platinum duos with Jamie at my side, and Jamie's gold 3. He's almost platinum, and I had just barely broke platinum. And yeah, so when Taylor was hitting me up wanting to play, he always wants to play compy duos, and then he's like, "What the hell is all these platinums on the other team?" I'm like, "Look underneath you, buddy." There's one on your team too.
Just saying.
It's
You're saying you guys are like, hey, come play comp with us. Yeah, I've played like 8 games of comp, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, so we won. I made like 1 goal, and I'm fucking all of a sudden I'm like a fucking what was it, platinum 1 or something? I'm like, that's not right. That's not fucking right. I'm not supposed to be platinum 1.
And then he's like, oh, well, I was playing with Jamie. That seems right.
Like that's not right. That's not skill-based matchmaking. Come on now.
I will not tell you what led to me being just a gold 3, division 2 or 3 or whatever. But they were still equally as fun games. But yes.
Well, I did have fun
Absolutely.
once I figured out like the whole aerial thing. I did start having more fun.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, I got to make a mashup or whatever, one of those videos of like Ty flying through the air, spiraling, and it's gonna be like do the twist. every time I'm driving around, next thing I know, Ty's flying over my car to hit it, and I'm like, there you go, there he is, dude. I'll tell you, we've been doing some pretty dirty stuff on that game.
Yeah.
It's like super dirty, dirty.
The passing to each other when we're soft tapping it and just barely, moving it like 2-3 meters and just like bouncing it really soft right back to each other. And the whole time the other 2 cars are just like swerving between us and we're just like tap, tap, tap.
I was flying down the center because they were a mess and they were getting boosts or something, and the ball hit like above the goal or whatever. And then I didn't notice it. And I just saw it, so I just drove up, smashed the ball. But I didn't realize that when it was coming down, Ty did a backflip, knocked it up in the air like very lightly, and it went up like 5 foot. And as it was coming down, there's me, cramming it down their throats, and I'm just like, that's right there is what's going on. That's what's happening here.
That's awesome.
And the wolf come over Friday night while we were playing, and he got to see us throwing down, and I was like, yeah. Well, now you see why I play that game. He's like, yeah, it's pretty crazy. But
Gets
then,
really into
but
it.
then, of course, having him beside me, he's sitting there. He's like, "Wow, you really fucked that up. Wow, you really did." You heard him too. He's like, "Wow, you gonna?" He says, I think I think you can do a little better than that."
Think you can do a little better. Oh,
I'm sorry, I'm trying.
It's like the little voice in your head, but actually a person right
But
next
he's
to
there,
you.
yeah. Oh, yeah, that was
So
fun.
I heard you were playing the Kraken the other day.
Yes, yes. Got Jamie. Jamie was telling me about the new NHL 22, and I
Yeah.
checked it out, and it looks pretty awesome. And we couldn't get it to work last night with joining each other up and actually getting into a game. Just having some technical difficulties. But I've been playing against some AIs, just trying to get used to it, and I can see the potential of that. How much fun that game can be, just through being able to like pass to each other and knowing when to body check each other and everything else.
Yeah.
Please excuse me for one moment.
Oh, you're good. I will generously inform you that Ty has got the game, but TJ has already purchased it. He purchased it the other day.
I did.
Well, we should game share,
Oh, I
and
did.
and I believe it's on Game Pass. I believe I heard.
What did I tell you about that?
That's right,
There's no
man.
money in there.
So yeah, so that just so you remember that is a thing. So
I
yeah,
wonder if I can download it on the PC.
I don't think NHL's on PC.
Damn. Yeah, I don't know. Well, no, maybe I'll download it on the Xbox. We'll see.
What's up, little man?
There he is.
Sorry, my wife was calling me, and there was a commercial playing. It was one of those YouTube commercials that lasts like, I don't know, like 8 minutes, and I didn't realize it was going. He's watching tractors over here behind me. He's gonna go
Nice.
sing in a. They've been practicing. It's something they go to at our local church. It's not in the choir. Like it's just it's like they do once a week. Shoot, I can't remember what they were calling it. But it's basically just going there. It's like a little Bible school he goes to one night a week. And then they've been practicing for this little Christmas song that they're going to be doing, and he's going to go sing that here in about an hour and 15 minutes. And
No, it's awesome.
yeah, it's pretty cool. He's pretty excited for it. He's been getting to make all sorts of crafts and meet all the kids in the neighborhood and everything else. Living out in the country, you don't really meet the neighbors unless you go to stuff like that. So
Right.
but he's really excited.
Usually around there, if you meet your neighbors, it's usually not "Hi, what's up?" It's usually "What the hell are you doing on my property?"
That's why I want to move to the country. I'm tired of
You won't be around here.
That's right.
Yeah, it's pretty good. My one neighbors that are the closest ones to me that live like 150 yards away. They're huge self-defense enthusiasts, and they have lots of pistols, and they're constantly like buying new ones. And then like they'll just have like a bunch of friends over, and they'll just be shooting guns. And the barn next to my house is facing perfectly directly towards their house and angled perfectly towards the front of my house. So when they shoot a shot, the sound echoes off the barn and it gets thrown right against my front door.
Oh,
And so it's like you can hear the shot like it's right next to you.
I need to put some trees up over by that barn.
Well, we got the trees, but the windbreaks on the north side
How long are
and
you-
the west side, and their house
That's-
is on the northeast side. There's just nothing over there other than the
that's
barn, which catches it. But it's cool. I like my neighbors a lot. They're
Can't hear you, Jimmy.
so
Can't hear you.
can you hear me?
No, Jamie, I couldn't hear.
Oh.
Yeah. No, what I said was, I said, well, there probably was more trees, and then Ty got a new chainsaw and had to try it out.
Mine's currently out of commission because last time I lent it to a buddy, he pulled the string out of it, the starter. So
Whoops.
No.
it's a simple fix. I just need to
Yeah.
take it down to the guy and get it fixed real quick.
Just
I did get
gotta
some
do it.
chaps there a couple weeks ago, though. A couple of the guys I know.
Assless or
No, I think so. Maybe. Not for sure. They're black. and they're very thick. So that way, unlike my two friends, I won't be able to saw into my leg, which both of them got to do. And I think one got 32 stitches, the other one got like 17 or something like that. Yeah, and in like that quick. Chainsaw just bounces real quick, and the smaller the chainsaw, the easier it can do that. The kickback, they call it.
More variations. That makes sense. Like a small trailer, compared to a big trailer. That makes sense.
In order to not have that happen, because both these guys know how to run chainsaw. I know how to run chainsaw. And it's just, if I'm going to be running my chainsaw, I typically try to do it this time of year. Sometimes I play with it in the summer, but this time of year is a good time to cut up a whole bunch of trees and get rid of a whole bunch of like mulberry trees and the pines and everything, because they kill pine trees. My windbreak is the only thing that slows down the wind from, making my house 20 degrees colder in the winter. They keep all those nasty trees out of there because they poison them. I mean, I never knew that until a few years ago, but something about mulberries growing with pines, it changes the pH in the soil or something, and it just
when the berries drop.
them. Yeah. So
it's from the berries, right? Not from the roots.
I believe so. But it's just having the trees there. You can't have them in with pines. And I lost a couple of pines before I found out what happened. And now I go out there with some Tordon, which is like a heavy duty, you don't get it on your fingers or your skin type of tree killer. You wear big, thick rubber gloves, and you go out there and run chainsaw, and then squirt. They soak it all up, and then they never come back. So
nice.
Works out pretty good. It's not too bad. But yeah, I was really enjoying hockey there the other night. That was a lot of fun. Took me a little while to get used to it, and thank goodness I set the AIs to beginner, because had they been on any other difficulty level, I probably would have been getting slaughtered. But I was having fun with it. Just passing the puck around, body checking people. I didn't get to any fights, but I don't know if you can only do that online or.
No, you can do it whenever, I believe. You tap the Y. You hit Y twice, I think, to initiate a fight.
Yeah, I kept doing that by mistake.
Well, TJ, when I got him to start playing a little bit of hockey, we went into playing against each other, and the first game I waxed the floor with his ass, and then after that he started putting up a really good fight, and I'm like, dude, you played like 3 games, why are you getting 1 point more than me or whatever? And I'm like, fuck you, man. It gets pretty sweaty, and then I'm like, well, let's be on the same team. He's like, nope, I'm gonna play it, I'd rather beat you. I'm okay, let's go. Okay. But
I wish it would have let us in to do the 1v1s, because that would have been a lot of good practice.
The concept of like when you're on like a same team on Rocket League, it's different than where you're on.
Is it
hockey?
Is
play
it
your position.
Is
yeah,
it?
You have to
is it really different?
You have to know where you're allowed to go and where you're not in each position.
Just like Rocket League.
I just can't go up the fucking court. You know what I mean? Like I gotta watch like where I'm at. I gotta watch like, you know what I mean? Like, so to me, it just seems a little bit more in depth that I haven't had a chance to really pay attention to.
At the time, yeah, I understand. I think Rocket League has actually really helped my NHL game. Because I didn't buy 21. I refused to buy it. Not because I didn't want to. I just knew I wouldn't have any time and wasn't going to play it at all. And then I think we just started playing Rocket League at the time anyways. And my appreciation for Rocket League is also boiling over to hockey and making some pretty cool plays and seeing things a little bit differently because of grinding so much on that damn game that it just makes it your situational awareness a lot more and your IQ a lot higher, because then when you're playing a game like NHL and you're controlling all the players and things like that, it's very fast paced and there's no real structure. You're just kind of bump and go, bump and go, bump and go, bump and go. And then when you're playing, a solid position, then it's more like Rocket League where you have to pay attention to the other guys and what they're doing, because you might be over here and have 2 defensive men coming towards you, and this guy's over here just hanging out, picking daisies, and you're like, oh, here you go, and then you can score on them. Before, when I used to play the game, especially I think 19, and I played it a lot at a time, I just didn't really understand some concepts of it, and now I definitely can say that playing so much Rocket League will make that more fun. But had the game been a full price, I would have not bought it because Rocket League's fun. It's my jam. It's what I enjoy playing the most. Halo's been a lot of fun. When we get playing with a bunch of people. But hockey was $23, and I'm like, it's like a sword dick, can't beat it. It's like, let's go. And dude, I did some pretty dirty work night before last on that game. Oh, so dirty. And then I tried to play goalie like yesterday in World of Shell, and I'm like sitting there all squatted up, like let's go, stretching and shit. And I realized that I need a new controller. Like my controller makes it very hard for me to play hockey because it's constantly wanting to drift on the left thumbstick. But anyway.
Oh, then I won't be able to play at all because my controllers are fucking dog shit with drift right now.
Well, you just have to adapt. But I'm
That
like,
would have been
I know exactly what that's all about.
but I'm like, dude,
Oh.
I've been using this controller for what 5, 6, 7 years now. But but yeah, so I was playing goalie and I'm sitting there and the guy comes over there and he tries to do his thing and I do a butterfly, I block it, then the guy tries to take a shot, I catch that bitch, pass it out, and then the next thing I know, the easy ones are the ones that go by. And I'm like, all right, it's just one. We play a period and a half, things are fine. They get a goal on me. I'm like, all right. So then we're sitting there and the dude shoots it from like half court, basically from the on just past their blue line, and it hits the back shoulder of my defensive player who wasn't facing the puck. He was facing me, and it hit him. I couldn't go over because he was standing in my way, and it dipped right in. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's enough for today.
That's an interesting score right there. It's one of those ones you just don't really see coming.
You're just like, man,
Playing in one.
yowzer. Then if
Could have
then
been
it
a good
goes.
cookie.
Yeah, then you go from playing 6-on-6 to playing, 11-on-1. It's like shit. But yeah, that'll be fun. I know. I got mine firing up right now as we speak. Not gonna lie, but that's just me.
Heck yeah.
I'm home right now, so. I might do some gaming tonight. We'll see. I'm freaking exhausted. It's a long day.
Well, you don't
Fuck.
look any better. I mean, you look pretty normal.
I'm tired.
Yeah, tired, beat down like the rest of us.
Mm-hmm. Stash is coming in nice though.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but it definitely is. It's definitely
Coming in nice and thick.
Definitely, he's becoming a thick boy.
Finally.
Yeah.
I'm still debating on whether I'm cutting this off yet or not, but it's starting to get a little bit long, so I'm like, maybe I'll wait.
Might as well let it
I
ride.
just curled it under now.
Let it ride.
Let it ride. Let it ride, bro.
Like making pizzas and stuff, I'm like, I gotta curl it under and make sure it's kept,
Oh yeah, for the ladies.
This thing's a little bit harder to tame, and I haven't done anything with it today. But yeah, this oils and butters and all sorts of fun stuff. If you want to try to keep these things under control, that's ridiculous.
What do you use for yours? Because mine's like really dry right now.
Beard butter.
Beard butter. Yeah,
Beard butter?
That's about the best thing to do because it's
That's
great for mustaches.
it's getting like thick and stuff. It's getting really dry.
Mm-hmm. Beard butter.
Yep. You don't want to know how bad I can make it snow if I just sit here and do this right here. Just
He starts shaking it. Next thing you know, fucking chicken wings fall out, and
it's just the dry skin's a big thing, and
yeah.
one-
especially right here for me.
Yeah.
and if
I remember it would always be dry as hell.
if you really want to keep it to where it doesn't itch at all, at least once every 2 to 3 days, use conditioner and let it sit in there for like 2-3 minutes. That's one of the real secrets because as soon as you condition it, it doesn't get itchy anymore. That's
I like it.
I steal the stuff from my wife, so I don't have any conditioner of my own.
Since I did this, I don't think you've seen it since I did this.
No, I like it.
It's going in now, but
There you go.
yeah, cut it.
Own
I mean,
it.
I still have it there. I just,
Own it.
buzzed it down. You know,
It's a
I'm a few
good
years
look.
behind you guys, but I'll be right there behind you. This thing don't barely ever come off. So both my dad and my grandpa are in the
yeah,
same situation. So
Oh yeah. Oh dude, I don't. I've earned my wings. That's the way I see
exactly,
it.
exactly.
I look back at the last 38 years of my life, and I'm just like, well, I earned that shit. I'm still alive, so that's a plus. I mean,
Yeah, buddy.
there's some
like
sketchy times, let me tell you.
I shaved this. I look like a Ku Klux Klan member. So I had to grow this. I had to grow this out first before I could shave the head. So
Yeah, no, I understand that. I understand. Um, yeah, geez, next week's gonna fly by, and then another week after that's gonna be
Christmas.
Christmas. Wow.
yeah, 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 it'll be good.
Yeah,
Um,
it's coming up too fast, but it'll be here and gone and on to the next year.
Then on to 22.
Business
Thank
as usual.
goodness.
What's that?
Thank goodness. You can do anything you want to in 22. That's
Yep.
I see it as
Oh
the
yeah.
year of the rebuild, if personally, and you
just
know,
going in quiet life, like I'm walking into a china shop. I'm not going to touch nothing. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm just going to keep my hands in my pockets for 2022 and just hope for the best.
like walking into a strip club. You just sit there and take it all in.
I'm going to take it slow, take it easy. I'm not going to startle nobody.
That's right. Um, yeah, no, I'm excited. Well, actually, the wife and Olivia, they just got done doing gingerbread houses and stuff, and um,
Awesome.
me, I'm just sitting here. Our show for New Year's Eve is going to be a masquerade, I guess. I'm like,
Oh, that's new.
okay,
Heck yeah.
okay. I gotta find a good mask for that, and I gotta get a sweater for at work because we're having an ugly sweater day. And I was gonna get a Seattle Kraken one, but sorry, I couldn't help it. Too
I
soon.
still have,
Too soon.
still have my
You're so,
Kraken might be
oh,
doing too, but
that
the
was the team that's
Patriots are on top, baby. So
Yeah, well, no.
heck
See,
yeah.
The Kraken are brand new. They're figuring it all out, and they're doing well. Right, that's one thing I can say right now about hockey and everything that I've been reading and watching is right now it's really anyone's game. Like, there's nobody that's really far ahead of everyone else, and where it's like, oh well, that this team's gonna take it, or this team's gonna do that. It's almost like what we're like halfway through the season almost, and yeah, no one's really owning it yet. A lot of teams are doing pretty well, but um,
yeah,
I that's what I look forward to doing is
wise, it's not,
watching it.
there's no split, right?
hmm it was really cool. Last weekend or the weekend before, my feed was hitting me with all kinds of hockey point, like all the scores and stuff, and the one night, Kraken won, the Penguins won, and Vegas won. I'm like, it's like, holy
Really?
crap, what a night! They all won. Get it, night. Anyways, they all did well. I was very happy to see that. Um, and then football, I don't know. Football's pretty dead to me. Uh, these last couple of years as we've established, but I was really looking forward to it this year. And then when Pittsburgh tied with the Lions and they got a draw because they couldn't even beat or lose to the worst team. And then we played the Vikings the other day, and I guess we were down like 22-0 or something. I heard because I watched
Yeah.
I watched enough to see that the Vikings had a touchdown, and then I turned on the game, and Pittsburgh didn't do anything. They looked like a fish on dry land. Vikings got a field goal, so it was 9-0, and I'm like, well, I guess I'll go watch hockey. Out. And then the next morning, I'm like, yeah, I'm not surprised that they didn't win, but
Yeah.
it's all just technicality. Sports are sports, and they're not everything, but they are a good way to pass time.
Yeah, the Patriots
Yeah,
started off rough this year, but they've really picked themselves up and took off. So
Good.
they except for the
Patriots
Dolphins.
are my
Dolphins
buddy's
every
favorite team.
the Dolphins every year fuck us up. I don't know why. Like fucking come on, it's the Dolphins.
Yeah, it's the dolphins. He says. You know what they say? You guys ever hear that sex position, the dolphin? It's where you like crumb up behind your partner and you try to, 1, 2, and they turn around like, So that's the dolphin. And so
That's a good one.
that's probably what it is right there. They think they're gonna go up behind them and they're like,
Probably. It's annoying.
I told my wife the other day that she didn't get it first. I was like, so yeah, there's 10 reindeer. She's like, what? I'm like, there's 10 reindeer. She's like, huh? I says, yeah, my favorite one, all of them. She, huh? I'm like, all of the other reindeer?
There you go.
I don't get out much, folks. That's the best part. I spend most of my day with both my hands on this big piece of wood. That's my base. Oh, this is awkward.
It's funny. I think it's freaking hilarious, especially the dolphin. That's the best dad joke I've heard in a hot minute.
See, I heard that a long time ago, right? And it's me and my one boss when I was living down in Florida, and I had told him the joke. It was a long time ago, and I was sitting there talking to a customer at work, and from the other aisle, I hear, I'm like, trying not to laugh because we were sitting there having a conversation with the customer, trying to help them find the products they're looking for, and all you're,
That is pretty good. That is good. And it takes a lot of self-control to not want to burst out laughing in that situation.
because once you know it, you're like, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, I don't know. It's beautiful out there today. All the snow from last night melted. Not sure what the weather's going to be like. It's going to be good, though. I know this week I'm going to be setting everything up. I got Jerry coming over Friday evening, and we're going to try and get some recording done. Because, again, next, year 22, planning on doing a lot more recording and songwriting and things like that. I got to sign up for probably DistroKid or one of them CD distribution, streaming distribution things, and because I'm going to be copywriting the material and getting everything up online because I want to get a Spotify going and all the other streaming sites for some of the music that I do for myself. Plus, I want to do it for the band and just really want to make next year, like this year, I know it sucks. It sucks. A lot, there's a lot of bad shit that happens to a lot of people, including me, but I just try to push forward the best I can like everyone else. And 21, it hasn't been great, but it hasn't been terrible. I've learned a lot about myself. I feel like I've made a lot of positive changes in myself and in my life, and feel like I got a lot of things done, achieved a lot, creeping up to the edge of the year. I'm like, wow. Sometimes we all got to reflect back and we all got to give ourselves a little bit more credit. If you think about all the little things that we have done and all the things that we have achieved that we've set out to this year, it's nothing, short of being something to feel proud about. I got some people in my life that have been sober for, almost 60 days on their own free will, and it's the first time I've seen them sober off of everything in 20 years, and super proud of that. Some people are struggling and still trying, and I still support them, and I'm proud of them. And 21 has been pretty good, but again, the year of 20, COVID, when that hit, man, it made everything change. It made you look at everything a whole lot different. And we said that on the podcast a million times, and it's really presents itself every day. And we are living proof that you can smile in a dark room, and people might not be able to see it, but they can feel the energy, and that's kind of where I've been at and super excited about next year, man. I don't know. That's all I got.
Me too.
That's all I got.
Funny you were saying something about the smiling thing. I just had a girl ask me when I went in the gas station to do a beer run last night. She's like, "Why are you always smiling when you come in here?" I was like, "Well, typically when I see somebody who's in a bad mood or something like that, it kind of almost puts me in a bad mood. So one of my things that I just do naturally is when I go walking in somewhere, I'm trying to act half-ass happy, even if I got some stuff going on or whatever. Just try not to ruin other people around you's moods."
Yeah.
And it just kind of makes me feel better too. So it's just something natural that I do. Don't really ever think about it, but she's not the first one. I've had multiple different gas stations where they've said that to me, and the one they actually started calling me Sunshine, which I was like, whatever.
If you only
But like, just because I'd always come in, I'd cheer them up, and I just coming in there to grab my slice of pizza and my pop or little icy, whatever I was getting that day. And I don't know, it's awesome how just acting positive can sometimes positively affect the people around you. Not always. There's a lot of the times that I tried going in there and the cashier lady was just pissed at the end regardless. But if I can try to make somebody's day a little bit better, I try to. That's been a steady goal of mine my whole life. But especially going into 2022, try to ramp that up even more. Maybe hopefully that can make some more people want to put a smile on their face, because it can sometimes completely change your day just trying to be in a positive mood, which also is really hard to do sometimes. But
Yeah, I mean, that's like going the job I was doing before as a custodian and then coming and going back to a pizza place. Just the mood change alone from working at that school, knowing every day what the hell I'm going into. I'm going to be cleaning piss and shit off the floors and toilets and the back of walls and whatnot. And going into
welcome to having children, bro.
going into the place, we have kids. But going into the pizza place and working there. I mean, I'm working 4 to 5 days a week, and in 4 days a week, I make as much money as I was making at the school. I'm working more hours, but I've been in better moods when I get out. I'm in a better mood when I get home. You know what I mean? Like going into work, I'm not like, oh fuck, I gotta go in to do this. It's like, all right, we're gonna go in.
We're get a radio call. Have to go clean something up.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like it's the guys I work with are in a good mood. The owner there, he's an awesome guy. He gives a shit about his employees. He pays well, and he cares about his place. You know what I mean? He cares about his employees. He cares about the quality of the things that are going out the door. Like it's a nice change of pace. Like I've worked a lot of pizza places and a lot of different, delivering and cooking restaurants. And it's one of the first time that I've gone into a pizza. Like I kind of dreaded it, but I knew somebody that worked there. I went to high school with him and middle school, and so I've known him for a long time. And I saw a Facebook post saying they needed help, so I went over there and talked to the owner and stuff for a minute. Got hired on the spot and started like the next day. But it makes a huge difference in the day to day. Like I can focus now on my grandmother and stuff, and you know what I mean. I'm not, I may be gone for the same amount of time during the day, but I'm getting paid for the entire time. I'm not. I don't have all this extra expenses, and it makes a whole lot better because I'm literally right down the street from my house. Nice. So I'm 5 minutes from my house. So if something goes wrong, I can be there in a heartbeat. I'm not an hour. I'm not an hour and 10 minutes away.
There's no price tag on that.
Yeah. So I mean, it makes a big difference. Plus, I mean, I'm not going to be at that school for my entire life if I'm moving. I'm planning on moving to Pennsylvania sometime the end of next year. By the end of next year, maybe sooner. Who knows? But yeah, it's just it's.
Well, for $600, you can sleep on my couch for a week.
Okay. Yeah, that checks out.
You even get a Linus to cuddle you?
Yeah. He'll wake up and he's got a mustache, but it's Nuke.
I might have to use your loft as a sex dungeon so I can actually make some money.
That's right. That's right. He says you're set up for streaming, right?
But yeah, I'm gonna go.
OnlyFans dog mustache. You could probably make some good money with that right there.
Only,
Dog
Some good
stash.
money.
Dog
only,
stash.
only stash page.
Just remember, boys, you ain't hearing this from me, but choosy dogs choose Jeff.
You can sit on my.
Juicy Jogs Tuesday.
You
Oh man.
can virtually sit on my mustache for a small fee.
Oh, that's terrible. And awesome, as a matter of fact.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
well, I am, really, really glad to hear that everything's going all right with your grandma right now. All things considered, and my phone's on if you need anything, and I know you're probably excited to get back in there and check on her. So we'll go ahead and cut this short. And I do appreciate you taking the time to get on here today and hang out with us.
Absolutely.
And she went to bed. She took a nap, so I'm gonna head home and take a shower and
Start your
all that good.
download. Gotcha. All right, that sounds good.
Well, I can either play some games or I can download. I can't do both.
Well, either way, either one's possible. You know, I'm not objective to anything right now. So
Nope.
all I know is with the push of this button here. Let me show you this one right here. I gotta turn that on. You ready? And then I hit this, and now I'm signed in.
I might have
No,
to stop them all. I was gonna say I might have to think of a new controller, but I didn't realize them all.
I know. I think I'm gonna go ahead and I think I'm gonna go ahead and purchase another one for myself. But I'm gonna
Yeah, go to
I'm
Walmart.
gonna give it to my wife and tell her to tell the kid it's for dad.
There you go.
If I would like to make any recommendations, Maria got me this one. I think it's like $10 more.
Mhm.
It comes with these little grip pads underneath for when everything's getting sweaty. See the color
Oh,
difference
yeah.
there?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
those little grip pads make a big difference. This
Really?
is by far the best controller I've had, and yeah, I love this bad boy. This is the one I
Nice.
do all my code with now. It has a lot
Is it
better
just
grip on the bottom side.
Does it- it's
and I
not
get
like
I
sweaty.
appreciate the suggestion. I'll definitely look into that. Because I haven't bought a controller for my Xbox in 6 years, 7 years. I think honestly, and actually, I did have one. I think I had an extra one because I went out and I bought one when I got my Xbox. Obviously, I don't have it anymore. So what I think happened is if I remember correctly, one of the dogs chewed on the stub when they were puppies. When I say one of the dogs, we all know which one I was talking about. The big fucking jerk. Yeah. It's time, You did I didn't tell you guys about that before I cut this short. So we all know about Nuke and Linus. So for when we first got Linus, because he's deaf and he's big and he's dumb and all that. I tried to put him in a crate when we would leave, and he destroyed the floor around the crate, all the carpet where I had it, and he had destroyed the crate. I put like 70, I think we counted it was like 75 of those thick black zip ties around all the door frames and everything to keep them from being able to get it done. We had to put locks on it to keep them from getting to the lock to slide it around and stuff. Well, after a while, you get tired of that. Just like Nuke. I got tired of putting Nuke in a crate because he was just pissing the thing. And then he's bald, okay, for the most part, but you still, every time you get home, and you have to take this nasty, stinky little bald dog into the shower, clean him up, go clean the crate. Like, after a while, you just get tired of it. Well,
Yeah.
so, okay, we'll let the dogs run around the house, see how they do. Well, for the most part, it's been, for over the last, couple years, they were pretty okay. But you come home after work and, 4 days a week, and there's a pile of piss there, because dogs are assholes sometimes. We've all dealt with it. People are like, "Oh, I wouldn't let my dog do that." Well, fucking go ahead and see what
Yeah,
happens.
that's right.
I live in a real life. I wouldn't let my kid puke on my shoulder either, but you know what? It fucking happens. But anyways, so in Linus, you think of a puddle,
Yeah.
And I'll tell you,
Scary.
there was times I might not have been the most generous to my dog. We throw him by the scruff out the door. We'll say that. And we finally just one day we had, we were talking. We're like, okay, we started noticing that like there was like little piss puddles. So Amber's like, all right, well, we're gonna get this crate back for Nuke. As soon as we start putting Nuke in a crate again. Now that he's older, he's like it's a couple years now. 3-4 years. Um, he, we put him in the crate. He's got his little bed in there. He sleeps in there. Linus doesn't get into anything. He doesn't piss in my house. Nothing. And I look at that poor dog and I'm like, God, all the times that I was so mad at this big giant dog, it was just him pissing on Nuke's piss.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God, that little
Uh,
bald peckerhead really caused a lot of grief in this household.
fucking,
Just marking his territory.
fucking
Just
dude,
claiming what's his.
he's like, I'm gonna get this big dumb motherfucker in trouble. Goes and pees on something. Go ahead, pee on it.
Yeah,
They
it
won't
makes
let
you think of like Garfield, in those type of shows where they'll do shit to fuck with the dogs, the other dog. Like, yeah, he's gonna think this is you, and and I mean, you think of a coat hanging on a chair. Little
Yeah.
dogs, no problem. Big dog, it's a problem. They see his sleeve, they're like, hey, what up? You know? Well, for me, after seeing that video of those dogs that'll like kick their back feet up and they'll walk on their front feet, and poop in a corner. You've seen them. After that, I'm like, dude, little dogs are capable of anything too.
Anything. You see a Chihuahua pit bull mix where the Chihuahua's the daddy. You're like, man, you got some something going on, buddy.
Yeah.
You really wanted to get the job done. That's for sure. You figured it out. Got your wings. Good for
Game.
you.
That's game. That's game. Well, that was like after, like the day that we had Amber, she put together the family dinner where we told Olivia about being a big sister. Everybody's sitting in the living room and everybody's talking, and I walk in and I look at everybody. I'm like, you know what kills me? All you guys here, and not one attaboy. Not one. Not one.
You know how many times, how often I had to badger that woman to let me do that?
You know how much money I paid? The duration of this?
You know how persistent I had to be. I had to put in the hours to get that done.
I didn't get one Gigi, boy. Good Gigi's,
From me to you, man, GG's.
All right, broskies. Well, hey, it's been real as always. I'm glad you guys got to get on. I'm glad we got to chat for a little bit. I needed that. However, I'm ready to go unfiltered chat, on the game. And, my mother-in-law was here last night, and Ty was tired. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna go play a game anyways, dude. I went to mother f someone. I was like, you what? Oh shit, I gotta keep it down.
Oh, that's awesome.
My daughter told me yesterday that Amber is always mocking me and all the shit I'm saying in here. I'm like, could you imagine just walking by and they're like, something wrong with your husband? Has he got Tourette's? No, he's playing a video game with his friends. Yeah.
It gets you though.
Jesus.
All right, folks. Hey, you guys stay happy, stay healthy, do your best to find happiness and joy and everything. Remember, I've said it in the past, and happiness is like everything else, man. It takes a lot of practice and a lot of repetition. It doesn't happen overnight. No one is truly happy, but you can definitely be happier. Just keep practicing it. Don't be afraid to live your best life. Until next time, deuces.
Thanks.
See you guys.